A cloud of suspicion surrounds the deaths of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife, whose bodies were found in their Santa Fe home.
Gene Hackman's death was strange enough: no forced entry, no clear cause, bodies left undiscovered for 9 days. But then the FBI got involved. Agents searched one specific room, his bedroom, and what they found was so disturbing that parts of the investigation were immediately sealed. A hidden safe. Missing documents. Electronics wiped clean. Hackman's family is demanding answers, but authorities refuse to reveal the truth. What was inside Hackman's bedroom? Why is the FBI covering it up? And most importantly, what was he hiding before he died? Let's discover. The FBI's involvement and initial investigation. Gene Hackman's death was supposed to be straightforward, a natural passing in his old age. But what investigators found inside his Santa Fe mansion turned it into something much darker. The bodies of Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were left undiscovered for 9 days. There were no signs of forced entry, no obvious cause of death, and no immediate explanation for why one of their dogs was found dead in a locked closet while 2 others roamed free. The home was untouched, no broken locks, no signs of theft, nothing to suggest an intruder. And yet, something felt deeply wrong. Why did federal agents suddenly get involved? What were they looking for? And most importantly, what did the FBI find in Gene Hackman's bedroom that was so shocking it had to be sealed from public record? The moment federal investigators stepped in, the narrative surrounding Hackman's death changed. Local law enforcement had initially treated it as a private, albeit unusual, tragedy. But FBI involvement suggested something much bigger. Federal agencies don't intervene in routine death investigations unless there are national security concerns, potential criminal activity involving high-profile individuals, or classified materials involved. None of these explanations seemed to fit at first. But according to multiple sources, the FBI had specific intelligence that something inside Hackman's home needed to be recovered, something highly sensitive, possibly dangerous. Agents arrived with a sealed search warrant that focused heavily on Hackman's private bedroom and study. This was unusual. Typically, when authorities investigate a death, they examine the entire property for evidence. But in this case, the FBI knew exactly where they wanted to search. It wasn't the kitchen where Hackman's body was found. It wasn't the bathroom where his wife was discovered near a pile of scattered pills. Their focus was on his bedroom, a place no one expected to be the center of an FBI-led operation. What was inside? What had Hackman been keeping hidden in the final years of his life? One of the first disturbing discoveries was that Hackman's bedroom had been locked from the inside. Investigators had to force their way in. The room itself was immaculately clean, almost too perfect for a man who had supposedly died without assistance. The bed was made. The desk was free of clutter. And yet, when agents searched further, they found evidence that something had recently been removed. There were clear signs of missing items, indentations on shelves where books or documents once sat, a small but noticeable gap in a row of framed photos, and even a safe that had been left slightly ajar. It was as if someone had been there before investigators arrived, someone who had taken exactly what they needed and left everything else untouched. But who? And how? The safe itself was a point of immediate interest. FBI agents spent hours extracting and cataloging its contents, but no details were released to the public. Some reports claim that highly sensitive documents were found, papers that should not have been in Hackman's possession. These weren't personal letters, scripts, or financial records. According to leaked accounts, they included classified information tied to powerful individuals in both Hollywood and government. Had Hackman been sitting on evidence of something bigger? Some theorists believe that Hackman had been secretly investigating powerful figures, collecting information that made him a target. Others suggest that he was in possession of files that linked him to something larger, a global operation that was about to be exposed. The timing of his death, just as major criminal investigations into Hollywood and elite circles were unfolding, makes this theory even more disturbing. The FBI's refusal to comment on what was retrieved has only added fuel to the fire. If there was nothing of importance in Hackman's bedroom, why was the information sealed? Why were even local authorities denied access to the full findings? Adding to the mystery, sources claim that certain electronic devices were missing from the home. Hackman was known to use an old-school flip phone rather than a modern smartphone, but investigators couldn't locate it. His computer hard drive had been removed, and several USB devices that family members knew he kept in his study were also nowhere to be found. Was someone trying to erase Hackman's digital footprint? Then there's the question of the strange financial documents reportedly found inside the room. According to an anonymous law enforcement source, there were records of wire transfers and offshore accounts that raised serious questions. Was Hackman moving money to protect himself? Was he involved in something that required him to hide his assets? Or was this evidence of a larger operation at play, one that led to his untimely death? Theories exploded online, with many drawing parallels to other Hollywood figures who died under suspicious circumstances. Was Hackman silenced before he could reveal something? Was his death staged to look natural while his most valuable secrets were taken? And most disturbingly, if the FBI truly found something so shocking in Hackman's bedroom that they had to keep it from the public, what else are they hiding? The chilling discovery: what was found in his bedroom? This is the discovery that changes everything. Just when it seemed like Gene Hackman's death was a tragic but unexplained event, a groundbreaking twist emerged. FBI agents, during their search of his Santa Fe mansion, uncovered something so shocking, so potentially explosive, that parts of their findings have now been sealed from public release. The focus of their search wasn't just any part of the house, it was his bedroom. And what they found hidden there has only deepened the mystery surrounding his death. Reports indicate that agents discovered a concealed safe, a hidden compartment that wasn't listed in the initial estate records. Hackman's family members allegedly didn't even know it existed. The moment it was found, agents immediately secured the area. Witnesses on the scene described the reaction as unusual. Some say the investigators were visibly shaken. So the question is, what was inside Gene Hackman's secret safe? The first, and most obvious, suspicion is that Hackman was in possession of classified documents or politically sensitive files. This would explain why the FBI became involved so quickly. High-profile figures, from celebrities to politicians, have occasionally held onto sensitive materials, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. Could Hackman have had documents linking him to something much larger, a global operation, a political scandal, or even an ongoing criminal case? Another chilling possibility is that Hackman had been collecting information on Hollywood's darkest secrets. Was he preparing to blow the whistle on something bigger than himself? The safe could have contained unreleased memoirs, tell-all writings, or even personal recordings detailing events he had witnessed throughout his career. If Hackman had planned to publish a memoir, was it more than just a look back at his acting career? Was he preparing to expose powerful figures within the entertainment industry? Then, there's the most sinister theory of all, that the safe contained photographic or video evidence of criminal activity. If Hackman had evidence, proof of something damning, something that could bring down the elite, that would explain why his death may not have been natural at all. Some believe that surveillance footage or blackmail material was locked away, possibly something that Hackman had kept for protection. And this leads us to the most disturbing possibility: was Hackman's death linked to the ongoing Epstein revelations? In the days leading up to Hackman's death, reports surfaced that the final Epstein files were about to be unsealed. These documents were expected to contain high-profile names, people who had managed to avoid exposure for years. Immediately after Hackman's passing was announced, social media exploded with speculation. One user on Twitter wrote, "Do you really think it's a coincidence? Another Hollywood legend dies right before the biggest document drop of the decade?" Some believe that Hackman's name might have been in those files, whether as someone with direct knowledge or as a witness to powerful people's darkest dealings. Others argue that he wasn't just a bystander, he may have had his own records on the people involved. If Hackman was sitting on names, locations, or evidence that implicated major Hollywood or political figures, that would be more than enough motive for someone to silence him before he could ever go public. And here's where it gets even more unsettling. The contents of Hackman's safe were never fully disclosed. Despite the search warrant, despite the FBI's direct involvement, there has been no official statement about what was recovered. That alone is highly unusual. If the safe only contained personal effects, old scripts, or financial records, there would be no reason for secrecy. The only logical explanation is that what was found posed a direct threat to people in positions of power. But what if Hackman wasn't just a victim of circumstance? What if he was connected to something much larger, something that put him at risk? For years, Hackman lived a quiet, private life in New Mexico. He was far removed from the chaos of Hollywood, yet he was still deeply connected to the industry. Insiders say he remained in touch with powerful figures behind the scenes, including studio heads, producers, and actors who knew exactly how the entertainment business truly operated. Some believe Hackman may have been part of a network that exchanged sensitive information, whether for protection, influence, or something more sinister. Could Hackman have been in possession of evidence that would have exposed an underground system of control within Hollywood? If so, it would make him a serious liability. Then, there's the question of timing. If Hackman's safe contained something so dangerous that it had to be retrieved immediately, why was his death allowed to be reported as a mystery? Wouldn't those involved want to control the narrative? The reality is that in these situations, it's often better to let the public think there's confusion, because confusion leads to theories, and theories can be dismissed. And yet, one crucial detail still doesn't add up: the missing electronic devices. When the FBI arrived at Hackman's mansion, they were reportedly unable to locate key items. His computer hard drive, his USB storage devices, and even his personal phone were all missing. This raises a chilling possibility: someone got to Hackman's bedroom before the authorities did. Someone knew what he had and removed it before the FBI could expose the full truth. Who had access to Hackman's home during the 9 days his body lay undiscovered? Who had the ability to erase his digital footprint? And most disturbingly, if Hackman truly had damning evidence locked away, what else is still out there? Who else is in danger of meeting a similar fate? Alternative theories behind Gene Hackman's demise. Gene Hackman's mysterious death has led to a flood of speculation, with theories ranging from carefully orchestrated foul play to bizarre accidents and tragic coincidences. Some believe he was silenced for what he knew, others suspect a freak medical event, while a growing number argue that something much darker was at play. The truth? No one knows for sure. But as authorities continue to withhold key details, one question lingers: was Hackman's death a tragic accident, or was it something much more sinister? One of the most widely discussed possibilities is that Hackman was the victim of a high-profile assassination disguised as natural causes. This theory suggests that he either possessed classified information, was about to expose powerful individuals, or had become a liability to secretive organizations. It aligns with the Epstein connection theory, which argues that Hackman had knowledge of Hollywood's darkest secrets, secrets so dangerous that keeping him alive was no longer an option. Online speculation exploded after reports surfaced about the FBI's sudden involvement and their interest in Hackman's hidden safe. Could Hackman have been in possession of documents, recordings, or financial records that implicated high-profile figures? If so, that would explain why his home was searched so thoroughly and why certain electronic devices, including his computer hard drive and USB storage, were missing. Some theorists believe this wasn't a death that authorities were trying to investigate, but rather one they were trying to cover up. Others argue that Hackman's death was a classic Hollywood hit job, orchestrated by insiders within the entertainment industry. The idea of elites targeting individuals who become too powerful, too outspoken, or too difficult to control has existed for decades, with countless conspiracy theories surrounding the untimely deaths of Heath Ledger, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Brittany Murphy, and even Marilyn Monroe. Could Hackman have been the latest in a long line of celebrities quietly removed under the guise of natural causes? Actor Randy Quaid, who has long claimed that a secretive group called the Hollywood Star Whackers is responsible for eliminating troublesome stars, immediately declared that Hackman and his wife were murdered and their deaths staged. Quaid even hinted that he had insider knowledge on who was responsible. While the mainstream media quickly dismissed his claims, they only fueled the idea that Hackman's death was part of something much bigger: a power play, a warning, or even an execution. Then there's the theory that Hackman was part of an underground network, either as a target or an insider. Some believe he may have had connections to people involved in illicit financial dealings, political corruption, or even intelligence operations. Hackman was known for his private but powerful Hollywood connections, and for years he had remained deeply involved in certain circles, despite his retirement from acting. Could he have been financially tied to blacklisted individuals, hidden investments, or something that put him in direct danger? One particularly chilling theory suggests that his offshore accounts, found in the FBI's search of his bedroom, may have contained links to secret payments or illegal transactions, the kind that people are silenced over. But not all theories lean toward organized foul play. Some argue that Hackman and his wife may have been victims of an environmental or accidental hazard within their home. One early suspicion was carbon monoxide poisoning, which can cause sudden unconsciousness and death without warning. However, toxicology reports ruled this out, raising the question: if it wasn't carbon monoxide, what was it? Others speculate that a slow-acting toxin, an undetected gas leak, or even contaminated food or water could have played a role. The fact that one of their dogs also died inside the house supports this idea. Was something in their environment poisoning them over time? If so, why haven't authorities released any findings related to this possibility? Another theory suggests that Hackman may have died from a sudden medical event, and his wife, in shock, took her own life. At 95 years old, Hackman's health may have been failing. If he collapsed from a heart attack or stroke, it's possible that his wife, overwhelmed with grief and fear, intentionally overdosed on medication. But this theory has major holes. No clear evidence of suicide was found, no note was left, and the scattered pills near her body could have just as easily been staged. And if this was just a medical tragedy, why was Hackman's pacemaker data so heavily analyzed by investigators? His last recorded heartbeat was February 17, yet his body wasn't found until February 26. What happened in those missing 9 days? If Arakawa had outlived him, why didn't she call for help? And if they both died suddenly at the same time, how is that even possible? Some have suggested that their deaths were the result of foul play from someone close to them. This theory questions whether a third party was involved, someone who entered the home, harmed them, and staged the scene to look natural. One of the strangest details is that Hackman's bedroom was locked from the inside, but was it locked before or after his death? If someone had access to their home, could they have manipulated the scene to remove evidence? If so, why didn't authorities find any signs of forced entry? One theory suggests that someone Hackman knew and trusted was behind the incident, someone with access to the home and enough knowledge to avoid detection. An even wilder possibility is that Hackman's death was ritualistic or tied to something paranormal. While it may sound far-fetched, it wouldn't be the first time Hollywood was linked to esoteric groups, secret societies, and strange cult-like activity. A brief but bizarre edit to Hackman's Wikipedia page after his death claimed he was part of a secret Santa Fe-based witchcraft cult and was known as the Healer. The edit was deleted quickly, but not before screenshots spread across social media. While there's no real evidence that Hackman was involved in anything occult-related, the idea that his death could have had a ritualistic component has fueled discussions. Could he have been involved in a secret group, knowingly or unknowingly, that decided his time was up? Or did someone use the mystique of his secluded home to stage a scene that would forever be shrouded in mystery? Even rational explanations don't fully add up. If Hackman's death was natural, why were key details about the state of his body, the FBI's findings, and the missing devices all withheld? If this was just a tragic coincidence, why did so many elements of the case resemble other high-profile Hollywood deaths that have long been suspected of foul play? The theories keep piling up, but the answers remain elusive. Perhaps the most disturbing possibility of all is that the truth is so shocking, so unthinkable, that it has been deliberately buried. If the FBI did find something truly explosive in Hackman's bedroom, something so sensitive that it had to be classified, what does that mean for the rest of us? Who else is hiding in the shadows, waiting for their secrets to be exposed? And most importantly, will we ever know what really happened to Gene Hackman? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the next video for more exciting content.